Hey, you guys, I'm back with Raw Talk Media. I'm your host, Ken. I'm here with the beautiful Rashida Michelle, CEO of, let's hear it,
Fruity, no shade.
True Tea, No Shade. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the hot topics of the week. So, as we know, the new movie just came out, Copa, Mia Copa, that's on Netflix, starring Kelly Rowland and the fine actor, Rashida, what's his name? Sorry.
I think his name is like Travante.
Trevon. God forgive us. We begin in journalism over here. So it's raw talk. So we going off the dome a little bit. Rashida, what did you think about the film?
Well, let's just start off saying that's a. I'm not even gonna go there, but he's very nice to look at. He's very
He's a
nice.
very handsome man. I will give you
Very
that.
look at. He was very good on the eye. Overall, like the movie to me, it was a lot. It was a lot to unpack. One thing about Tyler Perry, he's gonna throw them things in there. He's not gonna slow. Like he started off slow, and then it just went like once it went left, it never stopped. It was just
No,
like at the left, at the left. Like I just didn't know what was going on.
no.
like how did we get here? But I mean, like the sex scenes were very, very,
Listen,
very good. But like it just was like how the paint was corresponding with their skin tone. It was just
woo.
a lot going
The
on.
cinematography was beautiful. That I will give you that.
Yeah, like I was just like,
The one thing I will say is the face was facing and the bodies were bodying,
no
and the
shit.
outfits were outfitting,
And the wig, we gotta give it up.
and
Can
the
we
wigs.
one time for Kelly's wig?
Listen, the wigs was wicked. Okay, now
No,
it was.
for
Now,
real.
one thing that I did not like was that storyline. That especially towards the end, it was a lot of things that did not make sense, especially when you add in that thriller part at the end. And spoiler alert, I don't understand why. What's her name? Not
Which one?
not Mercedes. What's the other one name? They're playing the pole dancing show.
Um, dang, what is her name? Not Mercedes. I know exactly who you're talking about. I just it's like I see her face in my head. The one that was performing with Usher.
She's performing with Usher.
You talking about the one that was on a pole and fell off, right? Wait, who you talking about?
The girl that was in the movie. She was in the Kelly Rowland movie. She was in Mia Copa, but she also was in the film, the pole dancing film on Stars, the pole dancing show.
Miss Mississippi.
Mississippi, yes,
Oh,
Mississippi was in the movie, and Mississippi, it just was too much.
it's just like my girl can't catch a wind. Like she's getting hit on stars. She's getting hit on
She
Tyler
getting
Perry.
beat up on Stars, and then she come here on Netflix with Tyler Perry, and then she got to get stabbed up in the kitchen by the mama. I'm sorry for
Like,
the.
like, come on. Like, can she get one win? Like, she
No,
couldn't have killed the mom or something. Like, she
no,
just.
I don't think. For me personally, it made me say, instead of running when you see Tyler Perry name, press pause or maybe see if you got something else to do that day. Because to me, it was given very much. We just all saw this movie and ran to it because Kelly Rowland is in it, and we're
Mhm.
just hyped for that. And then, mind you, this is her first big film. So for
Right.
me, the acting skills weren't really there like that. I just
Okay.
think that she was just doing her best. But for her first major film ever, that was a really good job.
I would agree. I felt like Kelly did a really good job. She did a really good job. I will say that. But I do understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So,
But overall, actress, like judging for her first big role, it's
mhm.
like, damn, she did a good job. But when you
Right.
saying in the room of actresses, you like, bitch. Because
You
I
gotta.
think it's hard, and this is what I'll say, and this is with all due respect to Kelly Rowland. You know, I love Kelly Rowland. I done dressed up at her for Halloween several times, especially when we was little kids running around the hood. I done dressed up as Kelly Rowland, had the Sixers Allen Iverson jersey on, like she did when she performed in Philly. You know, I love her. But I
Hmm.
will say, in a film, you either have to have a really, really good script and bad actors, or you have to have a really, really bad script and good actors. You
True.
cannot have both. I think it was a bad script and bad actors at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like Tyler Perry, like he started off like you like he started off and it's just like once his mind take that crooked turn, he just does not stop. Like it's
No.
like so much. Like I'm just like, wait, how did we get here?
And
Like
then
who's
the
this?
truck, them crashing into the truck because she did. And it's like, I live in Atlanta. I used to live in Atlanta. So for
Hmm.
me, seeing a big ass truck coming down that small road, I don't think that that would happen ever. It just wouldn't happen.
It
Just
was
coincidentally, that big ass truck coming, you just say, "Let me do that."
like kill us both, but it's only going to kill the husband. And then I also felt like
And then
okay.
he get injected from the car.
Sidebar though, but sidebar, this is where the real Jordan went from Sisters. Because this whole other Jordan, I don't even like that. Like, it just, that's what I'm saying. Tyler Perry, he just does so much. Like,
And
okay,
then Veronica from Have and Have Nots was in it too. And
it's just,
but you know what? Somebody did that to me one time. Sat me down and said, and you think you was the only one he did that to? He did that to me too. And I was like, damn, and mind you, my face was just like how Kelly Rowland was. So that part was authentic because how I felt you feel real dumb and you can't say nothing back to it. You can't get smart. You be trying to come up with a rebuttal in your head or a smart ass comment and you can't say nothing because
you
he
can't
did
say
do that.
nothing. Like, I was just like, this is a lot. Like, this
It
is,
was a lot. It
and then,
was too.
like, we didn't see the girl that he initially was getting, accused of killing until the end. And then, like, she sprayed Windex, I want to say,
And
and
then I didn't understand how she was
oh,
alive. I didn't get like, okay, she was alive, and why
so
was she alive?
and then you just so happened to go to DR, and she's just so happened to working at the. It just was
And
like,
be a cleaning lady in a
my
DR.
way too much. Like,
Who
Ty-
sent her there? I still don't even get that part. I was like, did I miss something?
exactly. I was just like, Tyler, I need you to slow down. Like, I feel like he has.
I need him to have a writing team. I just need his name just to be on it and just have the writing team do. Don't even come in the room, please.
But what I will say, it's always like a woman that's getting done wrong, or it's just like. I mean, not saying that women don't get done wrong because we do, but I'm just saying like it's the same storyline every
Well, I
time.
think he did have the one. I think because he kept trying, he was trying to fight the backlash, but he did have Daddy's Little Girl, where that woman played the villain, and then he did have I think it was Alimony or something like that, Acrimony or something like that, where Taraji played kind of the villain role. But I think that he needs to be extremely fair.
Mm-hmm.
Like really, let's have a really raw moment. He need to have do a movie with Spike Lee one time. Like somebody that's like a real storyteller for real, and you really
Right.
feel like this actually happened in real life.
And even
Bring
when
it
it
down.
off, like I still had so many questions. Like, how did we actually factually get here? Like, how did we get here? Like,
And then the painting, and then him being let go from prison because of it was like too much. And then her at the end when she took the cell phone, threw the cell phone
cell
in the
phone
trash.
in the
And then who is this
child. What was his name on Sister? I want to say his name was like Tariq, right?
man?
Tariq.
Yes.
I just was like, it's just too much. Like, it just was a lot. It was a lot to unpack. I will say that. Tyler, I need you. I love you dearly. Don't get me wrong. I love Sisters. I love Ruthless. The
Oh,
old.
I love Ruthless too. Right.
Even with Ruthless, it's so much to unpack.
And
Like,
with all the Queen's Men, that's my show too. He need to give that back to the man that started it, Christian Keys. He need to give it back because I can tell you picked up the pen in season 3. Season 3, I can tell you just picked up the pen, Tyler,
Yeah.
and I
Tyler,
need you to give it back to.
pencil, your pen, or whatever you in there typing and writing, I'm gonna break it because you got some crazy thoughts. Like it just be like,
See, it worked for Ruthless though. It worked for Ruthless,
right.
but anything else, I cannot. I cannot. So, what did you give the film from the scale of 1 to 10? 10 being the highest.
A 7.
I give it a 2.
A 2. Come on.
Gia is right next to Gia and J Lo.
A 2. A
It's
2.
a 2.
Kelly tried. I mean,
Kelly ain't gonna try no more. She ain't never gonna have a rule like this ever again. This is her first and last opportunity.
okay. I mean,
I hope that is not. I hope she, get in there, get a little bit of acting classes, get her little Academy Award. I hope she can, obviously I got more faith in her in acting than Beyonce. Like just being honest, you know what I mean? Like I got more
okay.
faith. Yeah, I got more faith in her when it comes to that, because I didn't know she was that good of an actress, especially when she was in that like sex demon place and the way she was, you know, and she could have did a lot worse considering the fact, like I said, this is her first big film where she's the only actress, and that's it.
But did you notice, like, she didn't really even kiss her husband, but like she actually killed. I mean, she actually kissed the other guy.
Well, I think that was the good part that they did get about the storyline, though. I
Yeah.
think that about the storyline that they did do was that the husband and her weren't
Well,
getting along, and I understood that because you got this fine piece of black man you representing, right?
yeah.
So you doing that, he wooing you, he doing all the right things, and then he fucks this bitch in front of you.
And then you jump in. It's like you didn't clean it. You
But
didn't
see, the part that was unbelievable was why the bitch had to leave. Where did she go? And you feel that comfortable?
back down to the sex dungeon thingy thing. You know,
But
but
this is my thing. Realistically, it wouldn't happen like that. Realistically, you would have watched him do what he doing from that top, and you would have joined in, and she would have joined in too. That's just what would happen. Because if I'm a heterosexual, right, and
mhm,
I'm watching that, and I know I don't want no parts, and I'm nervous, and that's not in my character to have sex with her too, or even knowing that she's there. She
right.
would have to be completely gone.
Is no way I'm jumping on anything that was touched. No, ma'am. No,
They
ma'am.
said Kelly Rowland said that she initially said no to the role. Do you think she should have stayed no?
I mean, I feel like Kelly does have like that good girl image, but sometimes, I mean, you gotta, sometimes uncomfortable positions make you better. So
Right.
it was good to see her, not all like good girl all the time because, nobody's a good girl all the time.
No. I am glad to see her branching out
Right.
finally and doing her own thing. And I hope and pray that nobody says in any of the Destiny Child interviews, I don't want to hear nothing about Beyonce at all. When I'm
Right.
watching a Kelly Rowland interview, I want to see and hear about Kelly Rowland. I do not want to hear about Beyonce in a Kelly Rowland interview. I don't.
I will, I'm sorry, I will agree.
Yeah, I don't want to see. And even today, I saw something with Latoya Luckett. I saw something with them asking her about Beyonce too. I'm just tired. I don't want to see. I don't want to hear it anymore. These
Like,
girls have careers on their own,
right.
and I want to just be respectful and just watch what they have coming up.
Absolutely. I agree.
Mhm. So you do you like all the actors that was in it? You think that anybody should have been switched around?
Maybe the mom.
Do you think the acting was worse or was the script the worst? Which one was worse?
The script. I will give it to the script. The script. It was a god darn script. Like
Right.
it was just like too much to unpack. And what, an hour and a half, an hour and some change. It was a lot of unpacking we did, and
It
I'm
was
still
a lot.
figure out how did we end up where we ended. Like I'm still trying to figure it
Jesus. All right. Now moving on to the next topic. This one is a little bit emotional.
out. Okay.
But the Wendy Williams documentary. Rashida, what did you think?
Um, I would say it was so hard to watch. Like I watched it, and I mean, if you know me, like I'm like a crybaby. So
Of
like,
course, since preschool. But go ahead.
like I did, it did make me emotional, and it just like I feel like they're really not protecting Wendy because I mean, anybody in a right mind, mind frame or mind should have known like that wasn't the right thing to do. Like Wendy, it just was hard. Like it's hard. Like I said, being young, listening to her on the radio, watching her shows and stuff like that. Like to see her in that state, it just was like it was just breaking my heart, and it just like like I understand traumatic situations and just being a woman going through a lot. Like she lost her mom, she her husband, where all the stuff where her husband did not being on the show, like being taken off of the show due to health conditions. Like it was just like a lot, that's a lot for one person, especially like a person like Wendy going through, like she's so used to being in a public eye or whatever, like, and like when we were watching the film or whatever, it was just like she kept referring back to doing a podcast, like she wanted to get back out there and work. And I feel like Wendy need to really focus on her health. And like I feel like, even with the guardianship thing, like I felt like if that was me, if I would want to be with my family versus having somebody else control what's going on with me. Like, don't nobody, well, I'm not even gonna say that, but certain people in my family, I would prefer them have that guardian.
I prefer the Guardian over some of them. No, because
Like
trust me,
when
if that one cousin get it, I'm gonna
yeah,
pray. I'm gonna take on the. I'm gonna ask the judge for one of his people to pick it up.
exactly, and it's just like to have an outsider when you see like her family is genuinely concerned. Her family genuinely
But some
wants.
people may say their son mishandled the money. He was having $100,000 parties. He was having $80,000 a month rent. He was spending through the money fast. That's already $300,000 he was spending in almost 2 months.
True, but I mean, he's still a kid. Like he's a kid. I don't think it should be like it should go to her son because again, he's a kid. He's reckless. He's young, reckless. Especially if he's spending $100,000 on a goddamn party. Like
And $100,000 on Uber Eats. That was the biggest
that's
thing.
a lot of money. Like how many times? Like how many order? Like where are you
You
ordering
damn sure ain't ordering Shake Shack.
like at all? Like you're eating
No.
top of the line. But like I said, I just feel like yeah, I do understand that, but I feel like it should be maybe like her sister or like
What
someone.
about the brother?
No, the brother gave me shaky. He gave me shaky. Like he looked like he was going to do the same thing that the son would have did.
So him going and talking to the bloggers and all that stuff like that. What do you think about that with the brother?
Um, I think he shouldn't have spoke on stuff if he didn't like if he wasn't around. I feel like certain situations you should not speak on if you're not around for it.
Right,
Like him saying, "Oh, she doesn't have dementia," whatever the case is. Like I don't feel like that was his place.
right,
Feel like so people get sucked into wanting to be the center of attention, want to be famous, and want that light on them. So it's just like you'll say anything to get that attention. But I don't
right,
think that's what to do.
right. So what did you think about Sean, the publicist?
Um,
Do you think she was for Wendy or you think she was against Wendy?
I felt like she was for herself.
Mm.
Because I feel like it's no way you felt like Wendy should have went into that interview with CBS by herself. Like she can't really
The
remember what's
meeting.
on. Yeah, it was just like so much, and it just was like that wasn't smart, like at all. Like nothing was smart about it. Not the start, not the finish, and not the
So
end.
so going back to part one of the documentary.
Hmm.
So Wendy called her stupid. Wendy told her she needed lipo. Wendy emotionally abused that woman. Do you
Right.
think that she was deserved some more compensation for that?
Um. Yeah. I mean, abuse is abuse.
Hmm.
I feel like, but again, I feel like all celebrities are mean. Like I don't feel like they're nice people at all. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna be all bubblegum and raindrops, Like I just feel like they all mean, they all gonna have a nasty attitude or whatever the case is. But I just felt like again, she's not in her right state of mind. So it's just like you gotta kind of take it with a grain of salt. You like, and then you gotta know who you're dealing with too. Like you know who you working with. She's raw. She's uncut. She's unfiltered. So it's just like, girl,
Right.
you know what you signed up for when you signed up.
So what do you think about Will?
Will
Let me start here. What did you think about Will when you first saw the documentary, and what did you think by the ending?
at first when I first saw Will, I was like, oh, I hate him. Like I hate him. Like he was just mean. Like, but some people need that tough love, and I understand that. But you know, like it just was like you doing too much. You doing too
Mhm.
much. I felt like he was all about a coin too.
Right.
Like,
So, so when the niece came to visit, I believe we're going into into the second part.
hmm
But when the niece came into the scene and she instantly sat near Sean and she was like, "I don't want to film with her. I don't want her." Do you think she was acting rude towards Sean in the beginning, or she could
I
have
think
been a little
she did
bit
a
more
lot.
clear?
I think she did a lot. Like, it's a way you go about things.
Right.
But I feel like being as though she is her niece, I just feel like she's like a little Wendy. Like I just
Right.
felt like crying and all that. Like I understand your feelings may be hurt, but like you got to keep it together because you don't want your aunt is already going through what she's going through. Like you don't know what that could have triggered for her, especially if your aunt already feel like she's the only one that's really helping her.
Yeah, and I don't know if she had the dementia diagnosis at that point, but
hmm
what I do know is that when people do have dementia, there's a different level of patience you need to have for them. So
Right,
let's say like when they drift off and start talking about stories and start talking about it's better for you, it's going to be better for you, the interaction you have with them is to pretend you're in the moment with them and
right,
not to just burst the bubble, because at the end of the day what they're seeing is real in
right,
their eyes. What you're seeing and you're telling them, that's like me saying Rashida ain't got on a lipstick right now, that's the color of her lips for real,
right.
right? And then somebody telling me no, that's not the color of her lipstick because she got on lipstick. She ain't got on no lipstick, and I'm like, what? Get out my face. So you
Right.
don't even want to talk to them at that point. You know what I mean? So I think she could have did a better job if she was diagnosed at that point. Maybe she just might have thought that she was delusional. But I do think Wendy was throwing a little bit of shade when she said, yeah, now she understands finance. But you know what? You want to know what I think? My humble, honest opinion from the beginning. I think Wendy knew exactly what she was doing, even down to putting this documentary out right now. I think that if Wendy was actually not in her right mind, we would have never seen this film. I don't. I think she's too calculated for that. She's just a very smart person, even with her mental going down. I do believe, obviously, the emphysema. We see it with her foot.
hmm
Obviously, with the loss of memory, I do believe in the partial dementia when she's going out of her words or certain things are not being tallied up correctly. Those things. But do I think Wendy is like out here totally gone, especially in 2024? Absolutely not.
I mean, I felt that way. Like I felt that way. Like I was hoping and praying like she was just gonna pop up on the screen on the last, the last part of it.
Hmm.
Like I mean, mental health is a serious thing, so she got to get right.
So do you think that with some classes, with some financial literacy courses or something like that, that the son is going to be capable to do it this time around when she's up for guardianship?
No, 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 no. He's still a kid.
No.
Still young and reckless. Like even them coming to the, I believe it was the nephew and her son. They came to the dinner. Like I understand, like you got school stuff to do, but like he came there like 40 minutes late. Like young kids don't believe in being on time.
Sure don't.
Not
Sure don't.
especially if you know your mom is just not in a right state. Like she was breaking down, crying. Like it just was like a lot. And I
It
was,
was a lot.
come on, Wendy, you can do
Yeah, it was
like
a lot. So, what about the Guardian? Do you think that the Guardian should have been more involved?
absolutely. That's your job.
Yeah.
I wish I could go to work and not do nothing. Like you got to do something. Like
Right.
I don't feel like the Guardian is doing anything. I mean, like calling, checking in, I guess maybe, but or controlling her finances and that's it. but I really want to know who's the goddamn guardian. Like,
They did show her. They showed. I saw a clip of her somewhere. I wish I could post the link in here. I think, but I definitely did see a picture of her. She's a normal little white lady, you know. But what I am interested to know is, I know that you can't just play around with her money like that, especially with her being in the guardianship, because everything has to be approved by the court. Everything has to be approved. But I would like to see what her balance was when it was in Wells Fargo, and
mhm.
now what it looks like right now, because we all know Wells Fargo known to do a little trick or two with somebody's coin. So if Wendy had 80 million in that account, there should be 80 million in that account right now.
Right,
Maybe plus maybe 79 million, because the sun and blue probably a million by now.
right. He just was messing up some commas.
He was messing up them commas, baby.
Yeah.
So moving on, Wendy Williams' ex-husband came out and he accused the sister of spending $15 million from Wendy. Do you believe this story from Calvin Hunter?
Um, I mean, I don't put nothing past nobody. Especially stuff get really tricky when it comes to family.
Right.
I money break up families. Do the most with families. So it's not far fetched. Like I don't put that past nobody.
Right. Do you think Calvin should be speaking on anything to do with the money or anything to do with money?
No, I don't think he should have anything to say because he's part of the reason why why she's going through what she's going through. So you
Right.
did enough, and you still trying to do more. Sir, have a seat. Mind your business. Worry about that girl and that baby. That's what you did.
Right. Do you think Wendy should have left him sooner?
Yeah, I mean, if he was cheating, then first of all, I don't believe in staying in no relationship. Once you mishandle me, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
On myself,
Yo,
like,
myself.
you're done. I'm not in a business of no, you just done. I just felt like I felt like he kept her together, getting her to where she needs to be. But no, I don't feel like you should be speaking on nothing because this does not concern you.
Can Wendy bounce back from this?
Absolutely. Everybody loves Wendy. I have yet to I have never had an interaction with a person and they said, oh, I hate Wendy Williams. No,
Right.
it's how you do it. Like, I miss her.
Right. Seeing Black China touch her feet, have Wendy take the wig off, sharing with Wendy, hey, I cut my hair. Do you think that that's growth in Black China, considering the fact that all those things that Wendy has said about Black China?
That is growth. I mean, it takes a lot. But I mean, I felt like I could have did without that part.
Mm. Why?
I feel like that's more so like family business.
Do you think that Wendy was more excited to see Black China than she was her niece?
Um, yeah, like yeah. But I just feel like what they were saying, like everybody around Wendy is always about money. Like nobody's just genuinely like coming to visit her, coming to see her. So like to have somebody and she know who Black China is, she's still in the industry or whatever the case is. So I felt like it felt good to have someone come and just really just come and sit with her and no strings attached, nothing attached behind it, no none of that. I mean,
Do you
outside
think
being on the documentary, but
do
whatever.
you think it was genuine for Black China to show up, or you think she was just doing this for a reason?
I could only hope it was genuine, but you never know nobody else's intentions.
Yeah, I really don't see a benefit for Black China to be there, other than the fact that she was being there for Wendy, because it's not like she's getting a big payout for that. It's not like she's getting a big look for that. And honestly, I honestly want to say I'm so proud of Black China for the movement that she has been making, the growth that she's been making. I see God all in that girl, and then especially for touching Wendy's feet in that state that it is now, and not making it such a joke, but for it being serious like that and for it looking the way that it does, I don't know a lot of people that will reach down and touch and rub her foot like that.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that was the thing. So do you think Will should be fired?
Um. Yeah. Yeah. Because I just feel like this just was a lie. It was a lie.
It was. It was a lot. All right. So give the documentary 1 through 10, 10 being the highest.
I will give it a 8.
I want to give it a 10.
A 10?
A 10.
Where Wendy is though.
Wendy's in the mental, but in the facility right now. Well, we
Where,
don't know where it's at though.
where-
Huh?
where's the proof? I need to see proof. I need to see
Well, I
proof.
think the proof was in that phone call, the last phone call
True.
she had. And then also, I pray that she can get at least one of the family members. Hopefully the sister. It seems like she could take over it. At this point.
It's just hard when it comes to money because, like I said, money, family, that don't go. Sometimes it's just money just bring out the worst in people. So I just
But I heard somebody say something interesting on Armand Wiggins. I heard one of the guests had called in and they had said to him that it's smart to have different amounts of money in different bank accounts. Now,
true.
I was kind of in the mood of, I have a lot of wealthy friends. So
Hmm.
a lot of them, honestly, they don't do that enough. Like, and that's the thing is, I know some wealthy people who have some offshore accounts, who have things, but I'm talking about money that's in family members' names. So let's say if you would give, and I'm sure Wendy was very protective of her money,
Right.
but let's say if in advance she would have given her son $1 million, giving her mom or dad $1 million and put it in some type of account, she would have kind of had access to the money now. But I do believe her not having access to her money is good. But just like she said in the beginning, if it happened to me, it can happen to you. So
Right.
that just gave me kind of like a little thing of saying, well, I damn sure ain't got 80 million, but I got a little cute coin. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it gave me a little thing to be like, maybe we should be thinking about other banks and just it might not be such a bad idea to have multiple bank accounts because in our community they kind of look down on us sometimes for having multiple bank accounts, or they be thinking we about to do something shady or something for
Hmm.
having multiple bank accounts. But I honestly do think you should diversify your portfolios, not only that when it comes to the stocks, but when it comes to actual cash, it needs to be diversified because if one thing happened to one bank, you got access to other ones.
Absolutely.
So
All
I
right.
do believe that part. Can Wendy bounce back from this? I think she already has. I think she already has, and I think this isn't the only beginning of what we'll see from Wendy. I think after this, we're going to get the podcast. I
Hmm.
think she's going to move to Florida. She's going to be living her best life. I think things are moving in their direction, and what they needed this documentary to do to expose what was happening, so that when she gets in that courtroom, the court has no other reason to decide other than it's just like the Britney Spears thing. It's the same thing but different mojo, and I think Wendy sat back and added it all up and put it together and made them put it out right now because she got caught in a few weeks from what I heard allegedly. But hopefully everything works out with the family. But I give the documentary a 10. I actually want to go watch it again.
I don't feel like crying again.
I
Like
know.
it's
The
just so,
part that I cried at was Black China. I cried at that part.
I think I cried. Just seeing her like that, like it's just hard.
That's what a lot of people say though. Like a lot of my friends say they can't watch it, they can't get through it because the eyes and then her being not coherent and just I think the clips don't do it justice online. But
Right.
when you actually watch it, it's actually more comical and you get certain moments where you actually see Wendy.
Wendy, right.
Like even when she went to the went to the Star and when she was at the Star and just different things. And I'll be honest with you, like at first when I first heard about this whole thing, everything, I literally thought she was literally not even joking, literally making this whole thing up so Kevin couldn't touch her coin. That's what I thought. I
Really?
thought this whole thing was made up to so Kevin couldn't touch her coin. Because remember, he was supposed to get all of his money in spousal support. He was supposed to get all this money. He was supposed to be doing all these things, and then he eventually had to his lifestyle went up in flames when her money went on park. So I thought Wendy calculated all this together. But to
Hmm.
watch this documentary and to know that that wasn't the case, um, it's a little bit. It was a lot disheartening,
It was hard.
and I pray she can get through this.
Yeah, Wendy, you're in our prayers.
Wendy, you are definitely in our prayers, and we love you. I don't know nobody that don't want to be Wendy Williams, and I don't see anybody, including everybody in the media, right now, who has a platform, has taken somewhat something, if not everything, from Wendy. So Wendy's old, and I remember me as a young kid when we were younger. I remember running home to listen to Wendy Williams show. And
Yeah.
when I did, one day I heard the Whitney Houston and episode. And I remember I heard that live in Philly. So I feel blessed to be a part of that, even though I was kind of young.
Mm.
I didn't understand what that meant then, but definitely now I look back on that and was like, wow, that was definitely an iconic moment in pop culture.
No,
So,
she's
no.
a she's an icon.
And she is the moment. We
She's
love you, Wendy. So, next topic, Porsha and Simon's divorce. Simon Gabadia. Porsha just announced that she was coming back to the house.
um I think he's having some technical issues.
Okay. Oh my God. That was my phone that died. I can't hear you. Wait a minute. Oh, duh. Oh, you.
That's
I can hear you now. Jesus. I hope that saved. I think it did. So, all right. So where I leave off at Porsha and Simon.
I think it's still recording.
Oh, it is. Oh shit. Let me stop it and then go back. Hold on.